So today I am going to make a ocean themed soap or a beach themed soap called Tropical Sunrise. I'm using this fragrance oil from Nature's Garden. It's called Island Fresh and it smells just like an ocean breeze on a tropical island. So it's basically described as top notes of fresh ozone, mid notes of greens, lavender, rose, jasmine, melon, and then it sits on a base note of fresh air. So it's going to be very fresh like, and I have these beautiful little sea creatures that I want to put on it as decoration, and then I have these sun embeds that I'm going to put in the sky part of it. That's going to be my frosting. So we're just going to blend up this. I'm not going to reach trace with this soap right now. I'm just going to blend it to emulsion so I have a lot of time to work with the design part of it. So I'm just going to separate this out and we'll start working on that first layer. That's going to be my beach sand layer. So for this first beach layer, I'm going to use some apricot seeds. That's going to make it look more like sand. And I'm also going to add in just a tiny bit of titanium dioxide just to bring out the apricot seeds a little more. And this is just 2 teaspoons of apricot seeds that I'm using. And then I'm going to blend that in really well. And we'll get to pouring it into our 6.8 pound mold. That was just a tiny bit of fragrance oil that I added just there, and then we'll blend it. And this is just a teaspoon of titanium dioxide. It just helps bring out the apricot seeds more so it looks more like sand. I'm now going to mix up just a tiny bit of white to put on top of this sand layer so it looks more like the waves foaming towards the beach. So that'll just give it more like that ocean wave look. And just a tiny bit of fragrance oil to it and then just mix it and kind of pour a thin layer on there, and then I'll texture the top, kind of texture in the white. So I'm just gonna set that aside and let it set up while we work on the ocean layer. And for the colors for my ocean layer, I'm in the big container, I'm using Twilight Blue, which is by Mad Micas. That's like a really dark, nice ocean color. And then in my smaller container, I'm going to use Okinawa Blue, and that's very comparable to Blue Tide by Mad Mica. So I'm just going to do like an in the bucket swirl with these two colors and then add a little bit of white to it just to give it some texture or some foam on top of the ocean, kind of that sort of theme. going to set this aside and let it set up while I work on my frosting. And then I will meet you back here when we're all ready to put the frosting on top. So my frosting is just this really light blue. It's going to be my sky, and I just want to put this first layer on, and anyway, so I can put on my sun embeds. The color that I used is Aphrodite blue, and I believe it's by Mad Micas too. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I believe it's Mad Micas. So I'm just going to put my sun embed on the side there just to rest it on top in that middle sky. And then I'm going to add in some white so it looks like there's a cloud in the sky, you know. Gotta make it look like the beach. And it's pretty soft, but I was able to get it to stand up so that it looks like a cloud. And then I'm just gonna cover it all with the rest of the blue. And then we'll see how it looks. I'm going to just sprinkle a little bit of Sparkle Me Aqua on top of it to give it some shine. And then a spritz of rubbing alcohol, and then we'll set it aside overnight, and we'll come back tomorrow for the cut and see what the inside looks like. So here we are the next day. It's like 18 hours later, and this is unmolding beautifully. It's nice and hard, and this is just to show you that I can cut this soap with an embed in it with my multi-bar cutter. I had to put every ounce of my strength into cutting this. I even had Aaron standing next to me in case I needed his hands, because I did not want to pause during this cut. Because if you pause during cutting, it'll leave a little lip or a hiccup, if you will, on your soap, and I didn't want that. I just love that inside. It turned out exactly the way I wanted to. So now I'm going to get all of these cut, and then I'll bevel the sides, and then we'll get to decorating them, because we're not quite done yet. We need to add some sea creatures, some palm trees, maybe a dolphin or two. I still have some things to do with this soap, so we'll get to it, and you guys can just watch the rest of the video and listen to some music. I had these cute little stamps custom made from an Etsy seller. So this is like palm trees, and I'm going to use black oyster mica to just dip it in there and then stamp it on top of the soap. And then we'll put one of the cute little sea creatures on there. I have just a little bit of melted clear melt and pour that I'm going to use as my glue, basically, to put these on. It's like I can't decide which one of these I want to use. I think I'm going for the sea turtle first. They're so cute.